가까이 와 보십시오.
아이고 아이고. 네.
Hello, Booktubing World. It's I, Capri and I'm back with another video. So hopefully the filter in the background isn't that loud. I really don't feel like turning it off because like turning off my Turtles filter, I have to do this whole thing where I have to refill the filter to get it start working again. So if you hear like running water in the background, that's why. But today is Jin's birthday. I'm going to be recommending all 7 BTS members' books. So the first person will be RM, and then it'll be Jin, and then Suga, Hope, Jimin, Tae, and then Cookie. So I'll just go in order like that. I'll just say what books I'm going to recommend them and why. Okay, so the first person is our fearless leader, RM. So
RM, I'm the leader of this crew and kind of like a spokesperson.
했으면 좋겠습니다. 알았죠?
사실 내가 방금쯤 말 장난보다 좀 더 유치해. Look at my eyes, 내 식구 중
랩몬.
아, 뭐 저만 맨날 저만 그러거든요, 맨날. 내가 뭘 하면 막 깨지고 부서지고.
또 했니?
와, 진짜 대박이다.
말하자마자.
꽃게 너무 이쁘죠?
Me, I want to be a dad.
Dad.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's the best friend.
So RM was like hard for me to like pick one book. Like I had like 6 recommendations for him because he loves reading, and like with his whole like personality, there's so many books that I could have recommended him. Like he loves nature, he loves art, he loves to read, he's clumsy, he's a good leader, like he wants to be a dad. Like there's so many books that I could have recommended him just based off of his personality, but I ended up like narrowing it down to 2 books. So hopefully that's not like an issue because the other members I only gave 1 book, but RM I gave 2. It's fine. So the first book that I recommended him is a little bit sad, but I think he would appreciate it. It's called Chichi Kogosa, and it's a graphic novel that follows this father that just lost his wife, and now he has to raise his son on his own, and it just follows like their hardships and like their sad moments, but they're like, I feel like it's like a slice of life type graphic novel, so like it just like appreciates like the small things, and then it shows like their trials and tribulations and like him as a parent, and like little cute moments and like little sad moments and little things like that. I just think that he would think that would be really, really sweet. So that's the first book that I recommend. So then the second book that I recommend him is called Botany of Desire. It doesn't have a main character, but the author kind of studies like plant life and compares it to the human world. Like he compares like how much we depend on plants and nature and stuff like that, and he kind of like draws like the comparisons between like human life and plant life and how we're so dependent on like plants and stuff like that, and what we need to like further life and how life is sustainable with like caring for plants and trees and all that, because RM loves nature. Okay, so I just feel like him seeing the little drawing points between like human life and plant life would just like, he really would appreciate that. The next person that I'm recommending books is Jin, our sweet Jin.
Hello. Hi, my name is Jin and worldwide handsome. 물 먹다가 이렇게 손키스 날리는.
잘 닦으라고 내가 우리 귀신도 샀는데 나한테 어떻게 그럴 수가 있어?
굉장히 맛있는 걸 해주고 싶었습니다. 근데 설거지만 하고 계십니다.
Our sweet Jin, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. So I recommended Jin a comic book that's called Jiro, and it follows an MC that's set in like a futuristic LA world where like the city's at war and like run by master chefs, because like Jin loves to cook. He always talks about cooking. He always talks about how excited he is like when he ends up in a relationship and being able to cook for his spouse, and like he's a really good cook. So I feel like this comic book he would appreciate. I feel like he'd be more of a comic book person than like a full-on like book, so that's why I recommended him a comic book. But nevertheless, this book follows the MC Juro, who is a sushi chef, and he's kind of being pulled by both sides. So the city is set in LA in like a futuristic time zone where like master chefs kind of run the city. There's two sides to the chefs that run the city. There's the side that has like exotic food and likes meats and likes trying out different stuff, and there's a side that's more organic based and plant based and vegetarian based, and they kind of like run the city. Both sides want him because he's a really good sushi chef, and he doesn't want to be on either side. He has like bigger plans. My sister just texted me. I feel like it kind of would be like action-packed. The cover looks like it would be action-packed, and it'll have like fighting and stuff in it, and then it'll have appreciation of like food. I feel like that would be a good book for me. Okay, so the next recommendation is Sugar, our lovely Yoongi, Hubert, Yoongles, Woogles. Baby.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm okay, very good, very good.
일어났다. 욕하는데.
I'm ready for the show. It's so honor. We're making history. Maybe history, maybe.
Mr. Sugar.
Myself is terrible.
Oh, that's good.
다른 거 없어요?
I really wanted to recommend him a book that had to do with like composing and kind of like music, but I couldn't really find any books that I feel like he would like. I recommended him a book based off of one of his favorite movies, which is called Interstellar, and I've never seen it before, but Moche just watched it, and they said that it kind of is like based on like the world in an apocalyptic state after like the sustainability of the world is like a hot mess and like turmoil, everybody's dying, things are falling apart, the government is corrupt, like it makes you question everything. So I recommend him a book called We Are But a Moment, and it follows an environmentalist who is like the right hand man of the president, who is a female by the way. They kind of focus on like the state of the environment and how the impact of like human life affects the world and stuff like that, and how the world is falling apart, and we got some government corruption going on up in there. So it pretty much follows him as an MC and things that he finds out that are secretive within the government. It follows him, and it follows like the sustainability of the world, how the world is corrupt, how the government is corrupt, how the world is being run by a female president, how she's trying to better the sustainability of the world, how the world is falling apart, how overpopulation is making the world fall apart, just all of that, just like picking it apart. And I guess it makes you question like morally the state that you consume things and stuff like that, so it kind of like picks that apart, and I feel like it kind of would be action-packed. This is another book that I haven't read. I'm sure all the books that I'm recommending I have not read. I'm just like basing it off of their personalities, so I feel like just like picking apart the sustainability of the world, picking apart the government, having the MC who's an environmentalist, I feel like he would appreciate that, so that's the book that I recommended. Okay, so next we have my lovely Hope. Hope.
Are you ready? Are you ready? 난 뭣도 없지 해가 지고 난 후.
안전. 우! 그대 타니?
얘들아 와우.
지기 어린 사랑의 이른 꿈을 꾸 내 야망의 도끼 매어 칼을 갈았지.
So it's so weird calling him J-Hope. You start calling them by like these nicknames, so it's weird calling them by their stage name. But yeah, Hope is next. I don't know, I had a hard time recommending a book for Hope because I feel like he has like multiple interests. I read a lot of his interviews, obviously, because he's my bias, but he talks a lot about like historical romance. He talks a lot about books that have like time traveling, books that are really action-packed, or books that have like royalty in them, or like movies that have royalty in them. Just like he talks a lot about like movies and books that have like time travel, cherishing time that you have, dancing, stuff like that. So those are kind of the things that he likes as far as like the books and the movies that he consumes. So I picked dance because like I just love seeing this man move. Like just seeing him dance is just like, it's so beautiful. They're all such amazing dancers, but like he was a b-boy and that was like his thing. So one of the things that he said was that he wanted to make a movie where he would be like a b-boy and then he would fall in love with like a ballerina or something like that. So I found a book that was like mad cliche, but it was really similar to something that he said that he wanted to make a movie out of. So that's why I picked this book. The book that I picked was Breaking Promises, and it follows our MC Aurora, who is moved to a different city, which is California, and she just wants to focus on school and get her life together. But she ends up falling into the world of like b-boying and breakdancing, and she becomes like a breakdancer, and then she falls in love with the b-boy, and it kind of like follows like that whole aspect of a new hobby and new lifestyle that she's focusing on, and like how her life's changing and stuff like that. So it follows them as like a romance, and also like the discovery of this like whole new world of dance. So I feel like he would appreciate that. I think that would be a good book for Hope. The next member that I have here is Jimin. So
Nice to meet you, guy. I'm Jimin.
BTS입니다.
락이 아니라 락 아닙니까?
아니.
너와 단둘이 보내는
So Jimin honestly was like another one that I had so many recommendations for, because I feel like he loves love. Like he's one of those people that just like admires like romance and love stories and stuff like that. Like a lot of like his V-Live clips, his interviews, just like him talking about certain things, like you can tell that he appreciates love and like he really is in awe of it. And like a lot of his favorite movies have to deal with romance. So like the book obviously that I recommended him is like a romance based book. The book that I recommended Jimin is My Name is a Memory, and it follows the MC who keeps being reincarnated, Daniel and Sophia. So they both of them keep being like reincarnated and fall in love with each other in each life, no matter like what form they take, like male, female, but he still remembers what happened in his past life, and no matter what life he ends up in, he always falls in love with the same girl. And unfortunately, every time he falls in love with the same girl, something happens where they don't end up together. Like they never, in any of the lives that he's lived, have they ended up together successfully, like long term. I think he would really appreciate that, especially because like The Notebook is one of his favorite movies. I actually want to pick up this book. It's on my TBR. So definitely when I had to pick a book for him, this was the first book that came to mind. Okay, the next one that we have is our sweet baby boy Tae, aka V. That's his name.
Hi guys, my name is V. I'm good boy.
Did you have fun tonight?
안녕, 난 김태형이라고 해. 내가 지금 뭘 하고 있냐고 이러고 있지. Have a good day.
제목이 한글.
좀 있었거든요. 병원에 안 가고 약국으로. 이 정도는 뭐 견딜 수 있어.
정산 받았나?
주택이었고.
Hello.
야, 안 돼. 야, 닥쳐. 야, 너무 lem마. 야, 안 돼. 야.
Sorry.
무언가 가시는 소리.
So Tay, he's just so sweet. He just has like, for me, I feel like out of all the members, he has like this innocence to him, and like I think maybe it's because he was raised by his grandmother, but he kind of has like you know, when you become an adult and like your innocence kind of like changes and shifts when you go through like life trauma, trials and tribulations. But I just feel like he kept that innocence like as a child innocence, like as an adult, and it kind of shows when he has like when he does like photography or like videos or pictures or like any of that, like you get to see the world from his point of view, and it's like it just has like this purity to it, and he just like the sweetest. So the book that I recommend to him is like an art book that has like a ton of pictures of like street art. So the book is called The World Atlas of Street Art and Graffiti, and it has just like a ton of pictures of street art and just like people like freelancing on like stairs, buildings, like just all over the world. And I feel like he would appreciate that because he has his little moments where he does his own art and he has his own style, and I feel like him seeing all these pictures would like help him like draw from it or just recreate it or admire it. It's just like a different style. If he wasn't like a performer, he would be like an artist. I feel like that's something that he would be doing, like maybe like a photographer or a painter or something like that. So like I feel like this book has a different style of art, and he probably would really appreciate that. So that's the book that I recommended for me. And lastly, we have our sweet boy Cookie, aka JK, aka Jungkook.
나를 봐! 너도 차!
어서 와. 방탄 처음이지? 어서 와. 방탄 처음이지?
What should I say? 취한 거 아니에요. 지금 제가 살짝 보컬이 지금 운명이란 걸 믿고.
But sometimes I just want somebody to hold. 어린 시절 내 꿈들의 재림.
So Jungkook is the last person that I'm recommending books, and I recommended him a booktube favorite. Everybody knows about this damn book series. I still have not read it. It's somewhere on my shelf collecting dust. Look at, you know, I still haven't picked it up yet, but it's called The Raven Cycle, and everybody pretty much knows what that book is about or has already read it, so I'm just like late to the party, but it's fine. So The Raven Cycle follows the MC Blue, and I'm pretty sure like her family are like psychics, and she's told that she's gonna be the cause of her true love's death, and that's how it starts. She ends up meeting this schoolboy by the name of Ganzi, and she's pretty much known to like stay away from him because he's like rich and cool and popular, and he's like the typical like schoolboy that everybody knows and loves or whatever. But she ends up befriending him and his group of friends. What the hell are their names? Adam, Roman, and Noah. It has like an underlining secret. Like the synopsis does not tell you enough for you to be able to like know what the hell's going on. And I know it kind of takes like a flip, like a plot flip in the series where like magic is kind of added into it, but it follows like this group of friends, her and then these 4 boys. That's all it tells you. Like I just know that there's like underlying magic that's in there. It's like secrets going on up in there, adventures, stuff like that. And I feel like JK is like he's the baby of the group. So I feel like because he grew up in the group, like he's been with them since he was like 14 or 15 or something, like really young like that. Yeah, since he was like 14. So I feel like he's really close to them in like a family aspect. So I feel like a book that has a close-knit friendship would probably be better for him. Probably be best for him because I feel like he would appreciate like the friendships. Like And then there's like adventure in it too, so I feel like that would be fun for him. I still haven't read it. I really need to. Cause I started reading it, but I started listening to the audiobook and I didn't like the audiobook, so I kind of just like cut ties and I still haven't picked it back up. So that is all for this video. I love this hat, by the way. It was like $5. I'm like all bang-tang out, like BTS, baby. Gotta represent. If you listen to BTS, let me know who your bias is in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember, read a book, keep your life interesting, and I will see you next time.